For a guy that doesn't watch a lot of musical films, there have already been 4 major releases this year, so I guess the movie gods want me to watch more musicals. So if you want to see my review for this movie, let's head on over. Welcome back, film fans. This is Let's Be Real, Brad. Today on the channel, I want to talk about the brand new biographical musical film called Everybody is Talking About Jamie. Everybody's Talking About Jamie is based off the title of the musical and is directed by Jonathan Butterhelly. This film is about a teenager from Sheffield, England who wants to be a drag queen. So I had the absolute pleasure of being able to see this movie about 2 weeks early before it hits Amazon Prime Video, and I was so excited to check out this movie because I didn't know anything about it. The only thing I knew is that it was based off of a musical, so I was very excited to see how this musical would translate onto the big screen, and I have to say, I had a very good time watching this movie. Why I think Everybody is Talking About Jamie was such a good movie is simply the fact that this movie clearly understands why the musical was so good, because the director of this film actually directed the live stage musical of this movie, so he clearly understands what this movie is all about. And if you are a big, massive fan of the musical, I think you're really going to enjoy this movie. But one of the best things I love about this movie is that they are able to go all in with its messages, and the whole message of this movie is being yourself, but not in the very cheesy way that we see in many films, but you really have to love yourself in order to be yourself. Of course, this movie is about a 16-year-old who wants to be a drag queen, and obviously I can't relate to that, but the movie does such a great job of being able to tell this great story and being able to offer this message to anybody that you have to love yourself. So let's get into some of the positives first, and we're going to start with the acting. I found the performances were very strong in this movie, considering that Max Harwood, who plays Jamie, is in his first feature film role, and I thought he knocked it out of the park. He was so damn good in this role, and being able to be so captivating, funny, and being able to hit those heartbreaking and heartwarming moments. Lauren Patel plays the character Pretty, that is a best friend of Jamie, and I thought she also did a great job in her first acting role, and I thought she truly killed it. I would love to see her in more movies as well. Other actors like Richard E. Grant was also great in this movie after being so great in Can You Ever Forgive Me. He has been on a big streak lately, and I think he was also really good in this movie. The next positive I have with this movie is the writing. Overall, I really enjoyed the dialogue in this movie. I had a good time with the characters and with the story and seeing where it's going, but I fell so in love with these characters and I wanted to see where they're going to go, and just seeing these heart-wrenching moments between the characters because the dialogue was so good. It was so funny and exciting. What I also love about the writing is that the screenplay is able to focus on Jamie's identity and not his sexuality, because so many films just make the gay character all about him being gay instead of him being an actual person who has faults, who has complexities about themselves that they want to be able to explore. I also love the representation in this movie, especially the LGBTQ, because it is so important in today's cinema to be able to represent. My next positive with this movie is the music. I thought the music was so damn good, and I was bopping in my seat every single chance I could. I actually love the lyrics quite a bit, even though they're not most deepest or most creative lyrics I've ever heard in a musical, but I think that I was having such a great time with it, and it added to the movie. And my last positive with this movie is the pacing. This movie moves along quite quickly, and it just goes from beginning all the way to end in a very fashionable way, and I really appreciate that, especially when some of the musicals we've had this year have been very, very long. Now, let's get into my many negatives I have with this movie, starting off with that I think that this movie is a little bit too predictable, formulaic, and too simplistic for my liking. I truly wish that they dove more into these characters, but I did find that these characters were so simplistic and something that we have seen before. I found this honestly be the most disappointing aspect, considering that the characters are great, the acting's great, and I felt so attached to everybody in this movie, and I was really having a great time watching it. But when this movie doesn't feel all that fresh, especially with how the story is being told, and you know where everything's going, as each plot line is set up right in the beginning of the movie, and you know exactly where everything's gonna go, it's just a little disappointing because I wish there was so much more they could have done. This is the type of movie you have seen before, and if you've seen these movies before, you know where these character arcs are gonna go, and sometimes that's not a bad thing. But when you think about it as a whole, it just feels like that these characters and the performances deserved a lot more than this. And my last negative with this movie is the presentation. I felt as though the directing in this movie was quite mediocre, as I found that there was some really great shot selections and great visual style that added to the presentation of the movie, but I found the shot selections themselves were quite boring and at times really bad. So overall, guys, everybody's talking about Jamie is a movie that you have seen before, and it could be very formulaic, but I found this movie so entertaining to watch and being so much fun, and I really loved the characters. I thought the music was great, and I was thoroughly entertained. I am giving Everybody Is Talking About Jamie a strong 7 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys hit that subscribe button, leave a like if you want to, and ring that notification bell so you never get to miss a new video.